Module 4, Quiz 2, Multiplication of Fractions, Decimals, and Scaling. Number 1, what is 1/4 of 1/2 of a cake? Draw a rectangular model to explain your answer. So you're going to draw a rectangular model to find 1/4 of 1/2. So again, 1/4 of 1/2. What would that look like? Number 2, 2/3 of 3/4. So what operation does of mean? Find 2/3 of 3/4. Number 3, 5/8 of the students in a class are girls. 2/3 of the girls have brown eyes. What fraction of all the students are girls with brown eyes? So again, 5/8 of the students are girls. 2/3 of the girls have brown eyes. Here are your answer choices. Don't forget to do the math and make sure that the answer is correct. Number 4, 4/5 times 1/3. So 4/5 times 1/3. Number 5, Sam's family traveled 1/7 of the distance to the beach on Saturday. They traveled 5/6 of the remaining distance on Sunday. What fraction of the total distance did they travel on Sunday? You need to start by making a tape diagram. You need to show what 1/7 of the distance would look like. Make sure you label that Saturday. Then cover up your 1/7 and then label 5/6 of the remaining distance as Sunday. Once you've done that, you can figure out the total distance that they traveled on Sunday out of how many total boxes there are in your tape diagram. Number 6, Tessa put 1/2 of her money she earned babysitting into her savings account. She used 3/4 of the remaining money to buy new shoes. If she has $8 left, how much did she have at first? Use a tape diagram to help you solve. So make your tape diagram and then start with the first part, which is putting half of the money into her savings account. So show 1/2 and make sure you label it savings. Then cover up that half and then show 3/4 of the remaining as buying shoes. The box that's left will represent the $8, and you can use that to help you figure out how much money she started with. Number 7, solve each problem by shading in the decimal grid. Rewrite the problem with decimals. So the problem is 1/10 times 3/10. So on this grid, you need to show 1/10 and 3/10. Shade them in. Please use 2 different colors. Find the answer here. Again, remember you're multiplying 10 times 10. The answer is not 10. Okay, so what is 10 times 10? Then down here, you need to write 1/10 as a decimal, then 3/10 as a decimal, and then please also write your answer as a decimal here. Number 8, multiply 9 times 5/10. So once you figure that out, you can use those numbers to help you solve 9/10 times 5/10. And then you can use the same numbers to help you figure out 9/100 times 5/10. So remember, the numbers will be the same, you're just going to be changing the decimal and maybe adding some zeros in there. Number 9, multiply using your favorite method. 5 and 4/10 times 2 and 7/10. Please make sure you stack them up. You cannot multiply them when they are side by side, so make sure you stack them up. And then remember you're doing tenths times tenths, so where should your decimal go for your answer? And then this one is 35/100 times 12. So again, you could stack them up, and then just remember you need to put your decimal in the hundredths place for your answer. Number 10, Matt buys 2 and 3/10 pounds of almonds. If each pound of almonds costs $5.40, how much money will he pay for the almonds? So again, make sure you stack your numbers up when solving this, and then make sure you put your decimal in the correct spot. The next part, the directions are to complete the expressions below with less than, greater than, or equal. So number 11, I'm looking at 3/3 here. So if I multiply a fraction by 3/3, is my answer going to be less than 2/3, greater than 2/3, or equal to 2/3? For number 12, if I multiply a fraction by 4/3, is my answer going to be less than 4/5, greater than 4/5, or equal to 4/5? Number 13, write a fraction that will make this expression true. So I need to put a fraction here that when I multiply it by 7/8, my answer is less than or smaller than 7/8. So what fraction could I put here to get an answer that is less than or smaller than 7/8? Number 4, if you multiply 3/4 by 7, will your answer be greater or less than 7? Make sure you explain. So I want you to think, what happens if you multiply by a fraction that is less than 1? Does your answer get bigger or smaller than the number that you are multiplying by? Number 15. Which of the following statements are true? Number 1. If you multiply 6 times 4/3, then the product or answer will be greater than 6. So if I'm multiplying something by 4/3, is my answer going to be bigger than 6? Number 2. If you multiply 3 times 4/5, then the product or answer is greater than 3. So when I multiply by 4/5, will my answer be bigger than 3? And then number 3, if you multiply 2 times 3 and 1/2, then the product or answer is going to be bigger or greater than 2. So if I multiply by 3 and 1/2, is my answer going to be bigger than 2? Okay, so then down here you need to choose which ones are correct. So A is number 3 is correct, B is number 1 and number 3 are correct, C is number 1 and number 2 are correct, and then D, all 3 are correct. Number 16, express each fraction or mixed number as an equivalent decimal. Well, first you need to figure out how I can make 25 a multiple of 100. So 25 times what equals 100? And then don't forget to multiply the top by the same number. Once you have your answer, you need to turn it into a decimal, okay? Because it wants you to express your answer as a decimal. So make an equivalent fraction and then write your answer as a decimal. Then down here we have 3 and 12/50. So first I need to start with the fraction. Okay, so if I'm starting with 50, how can I make 50 equivalent to 100? So 50 times what is 100? And then again, don't forget to multiply the top number by the same number, and then make sure you express your answer as an equivalent decimal.